10 confident ways to stop being taken for granted by men. Hello, my name is Greta Bereisaite. I'm dating and relationship coach for women. For the awesome high value women secrets, subscribe to my channel and hit the bell to be notified when I upload new videos, which is usually every Sunday. And in between, I usually upload some shorts, so keep an eye on them too. And just before I will share with you those 10 confident ways to stop being taken for granted by men, don't forget to take my free self-awareness test to find out are you behaving as a high value or a low value woman, which I will drop down in my video description box below. Also, I have a free goodie available on my website. It's called Love That Lasts. The link to it will be down below as well. And if you didn't get it yet, I highly recommend you ladies to get my book, which is called Devoted Relationships, if you would love to learn how to be a woman of high value from the core. And it's available for sale on Amazon, or a PDF version is on my website. And if you like my marriage is goals and not the drama, it's also available for sale on my website or even on my YouTube store. So now, starting with the tip number 1, and it is standing up for yourself. Ladies, if somebody is putting you down, it is very important to stand up for yourself straight away. Don't wait around until things start to pile up. A lot of times we as women, when we like a guy, we feel a bit shy or embarrassed to call a guy out when he is rude or disrespectful, because we like him too much and we think like, oh, if I'll call him out, he may not like me anymore, or I don't want to create this friction. Ladies, this is not the case, and usually men love it when you call them out on the little things, as long as you don't do it in a way that you keep on and on and on about it, and also as long as it's not in an aggressive, masculine type of way. Basically, as soon as he's mean or disrespectful, or as soon as he nags at you by saying something mean or disrespectful, you just basically tell him, oh, please don't talk to me this way, or this is kind of rude. You say it like you mean it, you drop it, you leave it, and that is about it. Because what happens when we let things pile up, eventually the time comes when we keep all these things in ourselves and we just blow up after a few months. And the guy goes, oh wow, this girl has so many issues, she has so many problems. And the consequence of that usually is that he steps back or runs away or calls you emotionally unstable, just because you let things pile up. Therefore, when he's a bit annoying or a bit disrespectful, call him out straight away, but do it gently. If he keeps repeating bad behavior, then perhaps it's time to remove yourself from his presence, so he understands that if he will behave this way, you're not gonna be there next to him anymore. Now, why do men like it? Why we don't take women for granted like that? Because you set your standard as you go along. You're teaching him that he cannot walk all over you, that he cannot take you for granted long term, that you see what he's doing and that it's unacceptable. And if perhaps it's just the beginning stages of dating, it might actually make him a bit insecure. He'll be like, ooh, maybe she's dating other guys as well, and all these other guys are not rude to her. So maybe I better watch what I'm saying, because she might as well just go for someone else. Number 2, and I mention this a lot, is do not submit to him when he's telling you to do something that does not align with your values. Even if he's trying to charm you into it, even if he's promising you the world, even if he's trying to cover up that wrong thing with a lot of beautiful fantasy-like charms and suggestions and literally everything that you would ever want to hear as a woman. and we as women like to be swept off our feet, right? So men know it. So what we do, we cover up that wrong thing under the carpet quickly, and we cover you with everything that you would ever like to hear. And then you're just like, oh, this wrong thing, what was it? Right? Don't do that. Ladies, stand up for your values, stand up for the right thing. Don't go against your moral norms, because as soon as you'll do that and you will allow him to sweep it under the carpet, after he gets what he wants, this under the carpet thing will come out, and all his fantasies and charms and whatever else he promised will disappear. And then you will feel sad, you will feel taken advantage of, you will feel like a fool, you will be left vulnerable just because you agreed to the wrong thing. And in this instance, a good example would be a one night stand. Oh, and on top of that, ladies, the next morning he might say, I never promised you these things. I never said that. I was just joking. I was drunk. How could you possibly think that I was serious? Like, it doesn't make sense. You see, ladies, men literally have a comeback for every lie that they try on you, because we have done it to many girls many times and we gotten away with it. So whatever he's BSing you that night, the next day if you confront him on it, he'll be like, I was just joking. Why would you think I was serious? I mean, like, it doesn't even make sense. Like, I'm not gonna marry you tomorrow. That was a joke. Who does that? Do you know anybody like that? Are you crazy? Don't fall for this crap. Number 3 confident way on how not to let him take you for granted is don't let him control you. And I don't mean it in a way that always be very strong and never let him tell you what to do. And if you listen to whatever he says to do, then it means that he's controlling you and you're being too submissive, etc. No, I don't mean that. In a healthy relationship, a man should be a leader, and in a healthy relationship, you should follow his lead. However, if it comes to the point that you feel he's telling you to do something that you're not comfortable with, or you feel like it's going against your values and morals, or you feel like he's being unfair, or you perhaps think it's just silly and there is no need for that, stand up for yourself and do what you want to do. Because the thing is, ladies, with men that are controlling or with people that are controlling, they will test you with little ways. That starts with baby steps, but few months in or even couple years in, a lot of times these kind of controlling people, they become in charge of you, they become in charge of your life. And on top of that, we start to take you for granted. If you don't submit to them long term, because now they're so used to in controlling you, they throw very big power games, tantrums, pullaways, all that stuff. So it's very hard to fix it long term. It's not impossible, but it's hard. Okay, however, if you don't let him control you in the beginning, if you stand up for yourself and still do your own thing, then you prevent this ultimate control for the future. And you are also showing him, look, I'm happy for you to lead as long as you're doing the right thing. I'm not going to follow when you're telling me to do something that goes against moral values or beliefs, or that I'm not happy with, or that I know it's the wrong thing to do. And yes, you might get a resistance in the beginning, he might pull away from you in the beginning. However, he will respect you more for standing up for yourself. And long term, you're not going to be taken for granted for things like that. Number 4, if you feel like your guy started to take you for granted, shift your focus away from him and start to focus more on your life. Start to hang out more with your friends. Start to find more things to do for yourself. Perhaps try out some new things, try out some new hobbies. Usually people start to take us for granted when we spend too much time fixated on that person. Some women get so obsessed, all they do is just think about the guy all day long and overthink all these different scenarios based on their own assumptions. And a lot of times they even overreact based not on the logic, not what's happening, but on their own insecurities and their own assumptions. And this happens obviously because you care about the guy a lot, you have too much free time, and when you care about something, you tend to focus on that person and you start to overthink things and kind of nearly revolve your whole life around him. So logically thinking, what do you need to do? You need to find some other things to care about, so your attention is spread out. It's not just on that guy. Because if he will feel that all your attention, all your focus is always on him, he won't need to pursue you, he won't need to charm you, he won't need to text you, he won't need to call you, he won't need to do anything. Because you're already his, you're totally focused on the guy. He'll just be sitting there chilling all comfortably, drinking his beer, getting bored of you because you're not behaving as somebody he's interested in, who has a life filled with hobbies, kind of business ideas or whatnot, whatever you want your life to be filled with. And then, when you lose interest in your life, he's gonna lose interest in you because you're just obsessed about him. It's boring. The curiosity towards you kind of just dies out. And that's when the guy starts to naturally take you for granted. Number 5, allow him to pursue you. And I know this is very difficult nowadays because with this equality being spread, and basically now we nearly need to prove to men that we are not women, and a lot of times we as women we behave like men, and it just became a complete mess, a complete chaos. Therefore a lot of times we come across men nowadays that think we are princesses, that think we are women, and that we women should pursue and chase them. So it definitely has become very, very difficult. However, if you want a guy to fall for you, you must let him come after you and pursue you. Why is that? Because again, we are not the same. Men have much more testosterone than women do, therefore we like the goal, we like the chase, we like the pursuit. And the more he pursues, the more he falls for you, the more he invests into you. So no matter what he says, you must let him pursue. One tip that I would kind of suggest for ladies, if you have like a dating profile, or you just having a conversation with a guy and he's telling you that you need to chase and pursue him more, just tell him that you were raised in a traditional type of way, and pursuing and chasing and leading just does not come natural to you. And if he cannot accept that, then unfortunately you're just not the girl for him. And say it in a very genuine, sweet type of way. And if he's into you, he'll get the hint that if he wants you, he needs to take the lead. Rather than telling you to change yourself and become a man and chase and pursue and whatnot. So I would recommend to say this type of line in the beginning of dating. So if he wants like a chaser, you're just not the girl for him, and you can move on and he can move on and nobody's hurt, rather than later on. And if he accepts that, well, that's beautiful, that's great, as there is a potential for a happy and healthy relationship. Number 6, rewarding him with good behavior when he is nice. A lot of women forget that, and a lot of times we do this mistake that when a guy does something nice, we forget to appreciate it. And you don't always have to say, oh, I really appreciate when you do that. Or I get a lot of clients that really hinted, oh, you're such a gent, and like, I really appreciate when you do this, or I would really appreciate if you would do this, you know, it just becomes a bit too much. However, if he took you out somewhere nice, for example, for some sort of nice dinner, say thank you, appreciate it. If he opens the car doors for you, say thank you, or just acknowledge it in a different type of way, perhaps with an eye contact or a smile. It doesn't have to be with words, it can be with body language, or you're just, you know, having a smile on your face. I would say the most dangerous thing is never criticize a person when he did something nice for you, especially if he did something that you really like, because if you criticize him for it, most likely he's not gonna do these things for you anymore, and then it's very hard to get that back. Number 7, when he is in a bad mood, or let's say he's under a lot of stress, etc., don't allow yourself to be a punching bag for him. A lot of men, you know, we start fights when we under a lot of stress, and a lot of women just take it. You know, the guy just goes on and on, starts to complain about you, starts to complain about the house, starts to complain about something else, and women just take it, or a lot of times we get defensive and the fight literally happens. It's like he has this, let's say, bad energy from the stress, and he needs to release it somewhere, and instead of going to the gym or hanging out with his friends or doing some kind of other stress release activity, he's just like coming back home and just taking it all out on you. Ladies, don't allow that. Just set in a boundary. Tell him straight away, don't talk to me this way, this is very disrespectful. Or you can even tell him a suggestion like, look, I understand you're stressed, but it's not fair to take it out on me. Why don't you just go to the gym? And if he's not doing that, he's not following any suggestions, and he just doesn't feel like it, and he just keeps taking it out on you, remove yourself. Go for a walk, go to your room, read a book, focus on whatever you need to do, but remove yourself from his presence. Don't allow him to use you as a punching bag to release stress. And if he already said a lot of nasty things and you kind of removed yourself too late, when you do come back, he will need to apologize. But going forward in the future, just spot that behavior quickly and just get out of it. And after a couple times like that, he's gonna find some other way to release his stress, as he will start to understand that he cannot take it out on you. Number 8. So this one would be more for ladies that are dating. And a lot of women, what we do when we start to date a guy, straight away we just put all their attention on a guy. And let's say things just happen very fast. So you start to date, you talk on a phone all the time, everything is just about you and him, you see each other all the time. And then 3 months later, boom, there is a breakup out of nowhere, out of the blue. He's taking you for granted, he lost interest. You start to chase him because you start to feel insecure as he's not showing you that much interest. Then he starts to pull away even more because he's losing more attraction for you, as now you're chasing him out of neediness, which is insanely unattractive for guys. And within a couple of months, things just kind of fall apart, even if it seemed insanely beautiful in the beginning. So the advice here would be, just don't commit to him too soon. Keep your life, keep your hobbies, keep your friends, date slowly. Take your time in dating him and enjoy those little phone calls, those little dates, those little text messages, while keeping your life and friends. Number 9. If you feel like he started to take you for granted, feel like he's taking a day to reply to you, half a day to reply to you, he never calls you, don't jump on that phone call whenever he rings. Let it ring a little bit, or perhaps even miss his call, And if you did miss his call, let him find you and call you again. If a guy is really taking his time and texting and calling you, it can be a game because he is playing hard to get and is trying to be a challenge, which is insanely passive, feminine, unattractive behavior. But another reason it could be that because he has lost a lot of interest in you. So to gain some interest back, don't jump to reply to his every text straight away and to call him back as soon as you miss his call, or to pick up a call the second it rings. Give it a bit of space. Show him, okay, you're not chasing, you're not pursuing me. Well, I'm finding it unattractive and I'm actually losing interest in you because you're not giving me enough of attention. Because of it, maybe I started to give more attention to something else. This tip, ladies, is very attractive to guys because now you again start to behave a bit more like a challenge. So he needs to find you, he needs to pursue you, he needs to chase you. As I told you before, because guys have testosterone, they are goal getters and we find this type of behavior very attractive. However, if he's giving you a lot of attention, if you guys are kind of on a high together and he's calling you and he's texting you a lot and etc., then don't play these silly games and respond appropriately. Because if he's texting you and calling you and giving you a lot of attention and you're always taking days, hours, whatnot to reply, he might just think you're not that interested and he might just start to step away. And the number 10, if you feel like perhaps he started to take you for granted, and on top of that, he constantly asks you for all types of favors, or he's used to you going out of your way to please him, to pick something up for him, to do his homework for him, sort some kind of problems for him, while in the meantime putting your own life on hold, stop it. Tell him, oh, I would love to, but I'm so busy, I'm so packed with this and that. Unfortunately, I cannot do it for you. You have to find someone else. Stop going out of your way and stop doing favors for him if you feel like he's taking you for granted. And this is when he will start to get more interested in you because he will see that you are not putting him as a priority anymore. And he will start to wonder, why is that? Who are you putting as a priority now? What is more important in your life than he is? Therefore, he'll start to gain a little bit more interest towards you back. And ladies, I see a little bit more interest because remember, with doing each tip correctly, you gain a little bit more interest back. Not all the interest back after you just changed one little thing, but a little bit of interest back. If you want a lot of interest back, if you want to fix your broken relationship, then you need to do majority of things I talk about in this channel. But if you'll do just one little thing here and there, then you're gonna increase his attraction towards you a little bit here and there. Does it make sense? I hope so. So ladies, if you liked this video, please press like. Let me know in the comments below what did you think. Join Greta's High Value Women's School, where we are all in the same boat, learning how to be a woman of high value and bring out the best in our men. Follow me on my Instagram. My Instagram is called Ladies Relationship Coach. And for one-on-one group coaching with me or a member of my team, book us through my website, which is called Bereisaite.com. Also, I highly recommend you ladies to check out my VIP High Value Women Tribe, where we do coaching lives there 5 times a week. You can post your question for our live and we will answer it during the live, and after we will share the live so you can watch it and learn and get your answer from wherever you are in the world. And the link to that you will find down in my description below. So ladies, thank you so much for watching. Kisses from London. Mwah.